Welcome to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Coach Lorianne. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Welcome to the show. We're so happy to be here today. I am a life and business transformational success coach, a #1 international best-selling author, an award-winning inspirational speaker, and of course, a humanitarian. And I love illuminating, educating, inspiring, empowering, and igniting people to find and embrace their life purpose, live their highest vision, and forge a strong foundation so you too can soar to success. For more information on how to work with me, please visit us at ldcstrategies.com or LorianneCasdia.com. I am there, or Coach Lorianne. You can get to me a whole bunch of different ways. It's not a problem. Here on Healthy Lifestyle, we are going to give you some verbal caffeine to light you up today with possibilities. And today on our show, we have Brandon Leibowitz. He's from SEO Optimizers.com. He runs and operates an SEO Optimizers since 2007, and they're a digital marketing company that focuses on helping small and medium-sized businesses like I do get more online traffic, which in turn converts into what? Clients, sales, and leads. Welcome to the show, Brandon. Happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me on today.
So glad you're here. So Brandon, let's talk about, we talk about optimization. SEO is what we hear, search engine optimization. Let our listeners understand, what is optimization? What's the purpose for it?
It helps you get more free traffic. So when you're searching on any search engine, whether it's Google, Bing, Amazon, could be Yelp, anywhere where you could search, there's usually ads at the top. Those are all paid ads. But right below the ads are the organic, the free listings. And SEO is about getting you in those free listings, so you don't have to spend money on those paid ads. And it's all about just going in and making tweaks and changes to help the algorithms better understand that you're relevant to whatever that search query is, and trying to make you show up so you could just capture that free traffic.
Yeah, and and why experts like yourself are so important is there are like rules to the game. And if you use a certain word enough, that will bring you up to the first page. And if you have a lot of activity on your website, on your social media, any kind of presence digitally, it'll bring your page up higher. So correct, right?
Yep, that is the main goal, is get you up there and try to avoid spending paid ads.
Exactly, which, I'm opposed to. I like to get free. Free is good. It's really, really good to get what we call earned media. That means you're not paying for it. And this is a really good way for you to get that I call websites your first hit business cards, because then they need to interact with you and get that know, like, trust factor. But it's real important to have optimization so people can even know that you're out there. So how do you optimize a website for conversions? What's your process?
That's where you just got to take a step back and look at your website and just make sure it's easy to navigate through. It's not cluttered, especially on mobile, making sure it's easy to find things. So maybe asking friends or family, can you find this product or service or whatever it is on your website? And you can see where they get stuck. The main thing is most people don't scroll on the website. So whatever you see on the screen, that's called above the fold. Once you start scrolling, that's below the fold. And most people do not scroll. So you have to have all your pertinent information at the top. Like a call to action. So if you're e-commerce, you should have the shop now or add to cart button right there, so they don't have to scroll down. If you're a service-based business, maybe you have a form right here, so people can fill out the form, or have your phone number up there so people could just see all that without having to scroll down. Having a value proposition, letting people know what's in it for me, it's really helpful. So that's something that you need on every single page. Just letting people know what's the benefit of using your product or service. And maybe have a video or some bullet points or something easy to just quickly scan, because if you just have a big image on your website, that doesn't really tell much. So a lot of people just have that big hero image, which doesn't really give you much to work with, versus having a value proposition, maybe a little video there, some bullet points so people could quickly skim and just gather everything really quickly, because attention spans are so short that you need to just captivate them right away and capture their attention.
Well, there's a lot of noise out there, especially since social media. And so, capturing our nanosecond brains is really important, and that's what you're talking about as far as the value proposition. What's in it for me? I need to know what you do for me within seconds. If that happens, then they go below the fold, and I call it diving deeper to get more information. And certain personalities will dive deeper automatically. Somebody who's a knowledge-based type of a personality, they're going to dive deeper. Somebody who's a blueprint type of personality, they're going to dive deeper. But someone like myself, who's a nurturer, I want pretty and yummy right away. That will get me to dive deeper. But if you don't have that right at the beginning, you're not gonna have that value to push them deeper, right?
Yeah, you have to offer that value and get them hooked right away.
Yeah. So now you use a word, you're using a lot of industry technical terms. So you use a word called conversion. Let's talk slowly, because you talk New York fast, my friends. And there are people from all over the nation listening going, oh my God, between Lorianne and Brandon, they're talking a mile a minute. So I'm going to ask you to slow down a little bit, but let's talk about, what does conversion mean? So I go to I go to the website and I see what's going on. What makes me convert? What does conversion mean?
Conversion is really whatever you want to make it. So it's just a goal that you want people to do. So it could be for e-commerce, making a purchase. That would be a conversion. So if someone buys off your website, your service-based business, you could say if someone fills out a form, that's a conversion, or someone joins your newsletter, that could be a conversion. And it's really whatever you want to start tracking. So it's not just let's track this. It's let's kind of track all these different things that have touch points that ultimately lead to someone becoming a client or a sale, but that's ultimately a conversion, but they can mean so many different things.
People taking action, right? So the conversion is someone taking an action on the website. And it converts to sales or a warm lead or an opportunity to continue to engage with them, like a newsletter, an email blast, obtaining their email. So I love that you do that. So what SEO strategies work in 2023? Because dear Lord, based on all the things that are changing and based on our just inundation with digital, what works now? What SEO things work now?
I mean, for the most part, it's just providing good quality content to Google. So Google feeds off text. Google struggles with images and videos. They're getting better at it, but they really rely heavily on text. So the more text you have on every single page on your website, the easier it is for the search engines to read, understand, and know what your page is about. So having good quality content is one of the most important things that needs to be on every single page on your website, not just the home page, but any page that you want to rank needs some text on it. The more text that you put out there, that's original content, can't be copied from one page to another.
Right.
The better off.
So one of the things that I will say is contrary to what I'm used to, which is I will always say when I'm working with people with websites is don't give a lot of text, because people aren't reading. They're going to look at the pictures, they're going to watch the videos, but they're not reading. So how do we convert that so there's that right balance?
Yeah, I just usually tell people put the text at the very bottom of the page, so you don't have just a bunch of text.
Below the fold, below that first part that you don't have to scroll with, because people give up very easily, right? It's like, ooh, if they don't catch it. It's similar to going on, dear God, I hate to compare websites to this, but like Instagram, if you don't catch somebody, they're not going to stop their scroll on Instagram, right? It works the opposite on a website. If you don't catch them right at the top, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's my understanding, if you don't catch them right at the top, they're not going to scroll, and you want them to scroll your website. You want them to get the rest of the story. You want them to dive deeper, right?
That's why you just got to get that balance of making it look nice at the top and pretty and simplified at the top, and then lower down, you can get more technical and have more details, but the top needs to just be really basic on your website and just not overcomplicate things, not have too much text or clutter, but lower down is where you want to have that text. So it's that balance for people. You want to optimize for people at the top of your website to make sure it converts above the fold. Then below the fold, you can have all that SEO friendly content, text, things like that for Google. So again, that balance.
Yeah, I was working with a website person who was like, I want to put all of these competitors on your website. And I'm like, what now? And they were like, yeah, I want you to put all of these names on the website. We're going to bury it in one of your back pages. And I was just like, well, okay, but why? And they said, because every time somebody Googles that person, they're now going to also get you. So you're going to become synonymous. And I was like, oh, well, that makes sense. Okay. But I don't want it on my homepage. So you're saying the same thing. It's just like, you don't want to inundate on that homepage, on that first part above the fold, so that you're able to really capture them. But you do want to SEO in the back. And that's where your expertise comes in, right? You go in there, you take a website and I look at it as firing it up. You give it turbo. You make it searchable, because there are so many, I call them invisible websites. You have to know the domain to find it, because it doesn't come up on page one. They're invisible, and it doesn't do you any good not to come up, right? So you help with that with the SEO. Do you help with optimizing, like some of the strategies? What are some of the strategies you actually implement when you do the SEO strategic plan?
Well, it's not really one size fits all. Every website's different. So
nice. I love that. Say that again, because some people think one size fits all, and it does not.
No, every website is unique. So we have to look at each one individually and just figure out what your competitors are doing, because that's ultimately what we're trying to figure out is who's your competition, how much SEO have they done, and how can we do a better job of it? Because we're not trying to beat Google. It's going to be great. We could figure out Google, but Google changes their algorithm daily. So it makes it a little tricky. So trying to figure out who your competition is, what have they done, and how can we do a better job of it is more feasible. And that's where we just do competitive analysis, search on Google, see who ranks for your keywords. Those are your competitors, because online and offline is different. So we want to figure out who your competitors are online and make note of them, and then really look at their strategy, look at their keywords, look at what type of content, how many pages they have, all these really technical things, but also looking at their backlinks, because backlinks are what ranks websites. The backlinks are clickable links from other websites that point to yours. So let's say you're reading an article in the LA Times, and there it says Brandon Leibowitz. You click on it and it goes to my website. I'd be getting a backlink from the latimes.com. So with SEO, we really want to look at backlinks and look at your competitors' backlinks and see how many backlinks do they have versus how many backlinks do we have. And that's going to tell us what the disconnect is and how to get to the level that we need to be at using different tools. You have to pay for these tools, but Ahrefs or Moz or SEMrush are all some of the paid tools that will show you any website's backlinks. So you can quickly find your competition, see what backlinks they have, and then start trying to reach out to the sites that are linking out to your competitors to see if they would potentially link out to you.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely brilliant. And I love that. And you mentioned something, keywords, it's like metadata, things like that. Those are, again, technical terms that are thrown out there. Keywords are really important because that really links you up, right? So how do you do research for the keywords? I love that we're utilizing the marketing dollars of our competitors to get the data we need to yummy up our site and to really, nestle up to them. How do you find those keywords? And how many do you take? Because you can find a lot of keywords. So how many do you take? 100? Do you take 10? Do you take 15?
Well, each page can only target about 3 to 5 keywords. After that, it kind of loses relevancy. So you want to try to figure out what the more important keyword is. Should I use a singular or plural or a synonym? And if you want to target new keywords, you got to create more pages. The more pages you have, the more keywords you can target, and the more targeted that page becomes about that specific keyword, because it's all about relevancy. So if you just have like 100 keywords on one page, it's not the most relevant. It just kind of blends it all in together. Like if you're a plumber and you say, I'm a plumber in Los Angeles and also in Santa Monica and in Long Beach and Pasadena, and you put it all on this one page, that's good. But someone searching for Pasadena plumber, if there's a page that's specifically about that city and plumbing in that city, that becomes more relevant to Google. So the more pages you have, the more keywords you can target. Don't just create a bunch of pages to create them, but as long as it makes sense, that's going to help out. And that's why blogging became popular too, is it's another way to just add more text, add more content to your website, and just target new sets of keywords that will draw in a new audience.
Yeah.
But when doing keyword research, there's lots of different ways to do it. One easy way is just search on Google for your keyword and look at who's on that first page of Google. Look at that blue clickable link. It's called the SEO title tag, and that's where everyone puts their keywords. So you can quickly find the competitors, see what they're utilizing, and kind of make notes. See if you think that you want to rank for like real estate agent in Los Angeles, but you see everyone's using realtor in Los Angeles. Maybe realtor might be a better keyword, but you still want to double check.
Yeah.
And that's where we use tools like the Google Keyword Planner. It's a free
And have
tool.
an expert like you who deal with this every day to really guide you. So if you're not an as